Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to October 8th, 2020. In this video, President Donald Trump goes on record to state that negotiations for the next round of stimulus are working out, that he has a big airlines deal lined up and a bigger deal overall. Then, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi stated that there will not be a standalone bill to fund and extend the airlines payroll support program. So, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, during a press conference today, criticized the president for calling off negotiations for the next round of stimulus. She stated by ordering his representatives to walk away from negotiations for the next round of stimulus. He walked away from children. He walked away from providing food for the 17 million children who are food insecure. He walked away from essential workers who are now at risk of being laid off by state and local governments who are suffering hundreds of billions of dollars in revenue shortfalls. For example, essential healthcare workers, sanitation workers, transportation workers, police officers, firefighters, teachers. He walked away from tax credits that will help American families. She pointed out that it's going to be 5 months since Democrats passed the HEROES Act, and since then, 100,000 more Americans have died. That said, she stated that this administration is ignoring the science and they are lacking focus, that one of the key sticking points, one of the roadblocks of actually passing the next round of stimulus is the funding for contact tracing and testing. As you very well know, and she pointed out again that the updated HEROES Act and the HEROES Act is calling for $75 billion for contact tracing and testing. If you've watched one of my previous videos when I discussed a press conference that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi held a couple of weeks ago, she actually introduced New Jersey Congressman, the chairman of the Energy and Commerce Committee over at the House of Representatives, New Jersey Congressman representing that state's 6th District, Frank Pallone. He stated how when there was a slight uptick in virus cases in the state of New Jersey, although they were doing a good job through contact tracing and testing, they were able to identify that the spikes came due to parties held on the Jersey Shore and at Rutgers University. She also started to criticize the president for ordering Mitch McConnell and the Senate to work full-time on the nomination for Justice Amy Coney Barrett, who will work to overturn the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, which will strip treatment for 150 million people who are suffering from pre-existing conditions. She stated that the cost of treating these pre-existing conditions are infinite and American families will not be able to afford that. Then she introduced, again, New Jersey Congressman representing that state's 6th District, Frank Pallone, the chairman of the Energy and Commerce Committee, so he could discuss how his committee is actually assembling and put together a plan for contact tracing and testing. So first, New Jersey Congressman Frank Pallone he started criticizing the administration for not having a national plan for contact tracing and testing. He stated that this is the key to crush the virus and ultimately cure this country from its public health crisis and get the economy moving again. He stated that there is no national plan, therefore there are disparities in contact tracing and testing across several states. He stated that right now, the country should be conducting 4 million tests. However, the country is only conducting 900,000 tests. And according to scientists, that's less than 25% of the required tests that should be conducted in the country. He criticized the president for holding the campaign event over at Bedminster because now New Jersey is having to come out of pocket to use funds from the CARES Act that are almost exhausted in order to perform contact tracing from this Bedminster campaign event. That's the campaign that President Donald Trump held prior to him testing positive for the virus, and he had to undergo serious treatment regimen in order to cure his virus over at Walter Reed Medical Center for 3 days. He stated that right now the White House has become a super spreading environment, noting that over 30 members of the president's staff have tested positive for the virus. Then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi started to discuss how the pandemic has disproportionately affected communities of color and failing to provide funding for opening of schools through ultimately making a deal for the next round of stimulus. It is also affecting or disproportionately affecting communities of color. She stated that contact tracing and testing, they said this several times, is key to these negotiations, and they have to ensure that they have the language correct. Congressman Frank Pallone stated that although they are all praying to have a vaccine developed that can help the country stop this pandemic to ultimately crush the virus, he stated that the HEROES Act is calling for $28 billion to develop and for equitable distribution of the vaccine. He said $16 billion will go towards a public awareness campaign to ensure that the American public knows about the benefits of the vaccine. And he also applauded the FDA because they announced that the vaccine will not be distributed until 2 months after it's developed to ensure that all the proper clinical trials are performed and that the virus will not cause any adverse side effects once people start taking doses of it. Then, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced that there will not be a standalone bill to fund the airlines to extend the payroll support program without a bigger deal. Bigger deal, as you know, the Democrats want, calls for another round of stimulus checks, enhanced unemployment insurance payments of $600 a week until January of next year, a $50,000 SBA lifeline grant, or 6 months of revenue minus cost of goods sold for businesses who have 50 employees or less and also qualify because the owner is a economically and socially disadvantaged individual according to federal law, a veteran-owned businesses who have over 50% of their employees generating low incomes, and another round of the economic injury disaster loan grant. So she stated that there will not be a standalone deal. Nonetheless, she closed the entire press conference by stating that we are at the table and we want to continue to negotiate with the White House in order to pass the next round of stimulus, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what she said. She wants to continue. She wants to make progress. She was also baffled as to how the president would go ahead and undermine all the work that she has been performing with Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin in negotiating and working to reach a compromise, examining the language, the statutory language of the bill. She stressed the importance of the statutory language in the bill. Otherwise, Congress would be writing a blank check to the president to do whatever he wanted with the money and ignore all the important issues, mainly contact tracing and testing, ventilation, and everything that the country needs in order to crush this virus. And she also noted that if Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin knew that President Donald Trump, through a tweet, was going to stop negotiations, she was baffled because it was a complete disrespect to him. And she's also trusting that speaking to Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, she's speaking to his representative, who is speaking on behalf of the President of the United States to speak with the Speaker of the House, Article 1, a body of the federal government. And she's just baffled as to why he would disrespect his own staff and he would disrespect the negotiations that is aimed to save lives and ultimately save this country. Let me know what you think. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Watch this video right here for more stimulus and economic injury disaster loan grant coverage. Click the like button if you like the video. Click the subscribe button and click the bell notification to stay on top of my findings. We mobilize like no one else will and stop at nothing until each and every one of you is equipped with the monetary ammunition to save and feed your families, save your businesses, and keep your employees on payroll to ultimately save this country. May God bless you. May God bless the United States of America and everybody else on this planet. Talk soon.